data entry process and tools. And we are going to, under the module 3, so we are going to discuss on CRM, which is customer. So what is CRM again?
Customer relationship manager. Did I get it?
Yeah. It's customer relationship management,
Okay.
management. So we are going to introduce us to CRM. Last on our last section, I asked you to download Notion. Hope you've done that. Have you been able to download Notion?
Yeah, on my system. I don't know what happened to my system.
Okay, what was the problem or the
It's
challenges?
bringing out one error like that. Let me check.
Okay.
Can I download it on my phone?
No, you can download it on your phone, but actually the main reason I asked you to download it on your system is of the features, because you'll be making use of your laptop actually, not phone.
I will
So
check again.
please, so please try to do that since we are
Okay.
not making use of it today. And that one will, I think, possibly on Friday,
Okay.
or Thursday, we'll make use of it.
Okay.
So today, what is Google management? That is document management. So when we are talking about document management, it is how we create, store, track, and share documents. That is the meaning of document management. It is how we create, how we store, how we share, how we track our documents. It ensures we avoid data loss, miscommunication, and messy outflows. Previously, I think I've explained this and how you can, if you can remember, can you remind me during the introduction to virtual assistants, what did we discuss? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I said during the introduction to virtual assistants, I made mention of um, data, how you can save or manage your documents in an easy way that you can access it. So can you explain it to me based on this definition shared on the screen?
Okay. So you told me that we can manage our documents. We can manage our document that by rearranging our documents in such that whenever the our client asks us to pick a data, we'll be able to access the data.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's good. So, and the same thing is repeating itself here based on the document management. That is to tell you it is very, very important you take note of this. So it's when we talk about document management, it's for us to create. That's the first thing you create. Then you store. Then the storage is where do you store your file? Then tracking. How do you easily track your file which you have stored or saved? And share documents. So you will be able to share documents to your client or to your boss or to your company or to your teammates, depending on the need. And also, it ensures we avoid data loss, miscommunication, and messy outflows. Example includes memos, proposals, reports, and etc. Now, we also, under document management, you are able to properly undo handling helps. That is, you handle helps keep everything accessible and secure. especially in a remote job, since you are into virtual assistant. So you need to be able to keep or handle your documents, everything accessible, make it accessible and secure. And if you, okay, during the introduction, I said something as well.
Okay.
Okay, what is the best way of storing your documents or your file?
Storing. As in, I don't get it.
Okay, what is the best way of keeping your file?
Keeping our file.
Yes, for instance, I made mention of Google Drive. I made mention of I'm just citing example, Google Drive.
Yeah.
So we talk about Google Drive.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to explain this to you. That is proper handling, proper handling, which helps everything accessible. That is
Mm.
when you store your file in Google Drive,
Google Drive, yeah.
yeah, it will be accessible and it is also what secure. So your file won't be lost. So I said something. The reason why your file is secure is that what? Can you still remember?
The reason our file is secure
Yeah.
is because we store it in the right place.
Okay. All right. You are partially right. The main reason why it is secure and safe to store your files on Google Drive is because number one, you are storing your document in a cloud. You are storing your documents in a cloud, and anything stored in a cloud can be accessible even in 100 years' time, in as much as that platform or the system is still working. For instance, if you store your document in a Google Drive, in for as long as Google company are still in existence, then your document will be safe. And as much as you still have your email, have access to your email, which carries your drive, then your document can still be accessible in 100 years to come. Unlike our normal laptop, if we store our documents on the laptop we are carrying, potentially our hard disk might have issue, might corrupt, might crash, and the whole document can be lost. So that is why I said I made mention of it during the introduction that it is more secure to store your documents in a Google Drive, which is cloud. Hope you can recall. Hello.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. All right. So the best practice when you are handling or when you are dealing with documents or you are when you are working on your Microsoft Office Word, the first thing is you must have a consistent file naming. You must have a consistent file naming, which is you can use date or project name. You can use date or project name to store your file. And you can also organize folder structures and you can group it into categories. So under the categories, then you can have a sub file depending on what you're working on. So that is that. So without wasting our time, let me quickly share also my Microsoft Office Word. So now, how do we format our documents? How do we format our documents? Then the first one, you must be so conscious about the fonts you use, the spacing you use, so that for the purpose of readability, so that when anybody see your document, it will be readable. And also you need to have page layout. Understand your page layout. What kind of page layout are you working on? Is it landscape or portraits. So those are the things you need to keep note of. So let me share the screen. Let me share the screen. Come in. All right. So can you see my screen? Hello? Can you see my screen? Please unmute yourself so I can know you are hearing me. All right, so what I was explaining,
Yes, I can see your screen.
okay, so what I was explaining on the slide, so this is the example of what I was explaining. So if you want to work on Microsoft Office Word, let me open a new document, which is Control plus N. Now, for instance, this is where you get your page. So this is where you get your page layout. Okay, this is our page layout. So under your page layout, this is your paper. So you must understand what kind of orientation. Under your orientation, you have your portrait and landscape. So
Landscape.
yeah, your portrait and landscape. So it depends on what you want to work on. So on a good report, because most of the things you'll be doing as a virtual assistant, you are to work on reports, you are to work on minutes. You are to work on reports and you are to work on minutes. So those are the two important things you must take note of because and also these are the margins. So you must know how to set your margins in a way that your work will be neat. For instance, this is a minute report which I prepared. This is a minute report. So mere looking at this, you can see the arrangement. The first, it will have the organization name, the name of the organization you're working with, and also the title, which is minutes meeting, meeting minutes. Then the dates of the meeting. So the date of the meeting, which was 7th July 2025. Then the time, how long was the meeting? When did you start? And when did you end? So the meeting started around 6 p.m. EST. Please always take note of this time zone. It is very, very important.
Okay.
Yeah, time zone is very, very important because I said earlier during the last mail I sent, so it's very important because you might be working with different clients and different time zone. So it's very, very important. Now, the facilitator, who are the people or who is the person that facilitates during the event? So you must have the person name, then you put it there. Then the minute taker, which is your name, you can put it there. And your title, what you are doing, administrative virtual assistant. Then the location, where was the meeting held? The meeting was held virtually via Zoom. Now, this is the minutes agenda. So the first thing is you need to take notes. How many people attended the meeting? How many people attended the meeting? You need to write their name, their department, and their title. It's very, very important. And how many people that were supposed to attend the meeting, but in one way or the other, they were absent, if there is any, if there is any. So you have to take note of this as well. Then after that, you now come to your agenda. So under your agenda, the first thing is welcome, address, and opening remarks, which is being said by the um, facilitator. Then the review of the previous meeting. So it must be stated there who read the previous meeting. So it must be stated there. Then departments slash projects. So depending on what it was discussed during the meeting. So you have to take note of all the points. Then the discussion point and also action items. Then after that, we have any other business. Then we have the closing. So so now I wrote the example, welcome remarks. The chairperson welcome all participants and outline the meeting objectives. So you are writing it as a report speech. Please always take note of that. You're writing a minute as a report speech. So your minutes should always come in a report speech format. Now, review of previous meeting. The previous meeting was read, reviewed, and adopted with no major corrections. So this is the template. Actually, I will share this template to your mail so you can have access to it and ask any question if you have one. So you can send it to my mail. I'll reply you. So because of your time, so that is why I'm trying to um, speed up things.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is just a template of a standard minute writing. So this is the format you need. Anything aside this is actually, there's nothing outside this format in any given minute, because there will always be a welcome address, there will always be previous review, and there will always be room for departmental contribution. So all these things are necessary. Now, let me remove this. I'm coming. So, all right. Now, when we are talking about formatting the document, for instance, let me type something. Okay, let me copy something. Put something. Okay. Okay, now, if you look at this document, which I just pasted on the screen now, you can see that this particular document, is it readable?
No.
Okay. Now, when we are talking about editing a document, making it readable, making it presentable, if you present this kind of document to your boss, maybe you are writing or helping him to create maybe a research work. Now, presenting this is not ideal. Why? Because putting everything on a slant, that's the first one, on italic is not acceptable. Then the second one is that there is what we call justification. Are you familiar with it?
No.
Okay, I know you are familiar with Microsoft Word very well. So
Yeah.
the document is not well justified, and you need to make sure that the document, which is what you type, is well justified. That is what you take note of. And also the fonts. We talk about the uniformity of fonts. So we talk about uniformity of fonts. Now I just press my Control and A. So let me justify it, which is Control and J. Now let me remove the italic, which is Control and I. So the uniformity of the font, what is the best font do I need to use? Is it Time New Roman? Is it Area? But the best font for documents, which I prefer to me, I use Time New Roman most times when it comes to this kind of a thing. And your headings, in any given time, your headings should be 1 inch bigger than your text, 1 or 2 inch bigger than your text. So let me give it a little, so I've increased it by 1 inch. Now let me bold it to make it different. So the line spacing, so your line spacing, we have different type depending, but for the purpose of document or research work, it's better we use 1.5. So this is 1.0. So if you look at this, or if you look at this 1.0 and you look at the 1.5, so if you want to, what is the difference? Which one is better?
1.5
Okay, why?
because it's bigger. It's readable.
Okay, apart from it being bigger, it make it readable.
Yeah, it's readable.
Yeah, it make it readable. It's not about being bigger. It make it readable. The main goal for us is to make sure that our documents are being readable. That is the main goal. So the shortcut which I used earlier was Control 5 for 1.5 and Control 1 for 1.0. So you can take note of that shortcut. And also, let me remove this. Another thing you should take note of. Are you familiar with table?
Table, yeah.
Okay. Now, you should be familiar with your table on Microsoft Word. So, so the main purpose of table is just to tabulate to make sure that the arrangement, for instance, you're having different kind of items that you want to report on, maybe on a particular report that the organization are working on, and it contains a financial report or data report that you want to work on. So you can make use of your table, and which possibly depending on what you do, it might have your SN, let me say SN, or let's say products and quantity. Let's say let's just say total. So Let's assume this is the data you want to enter, and back to home. Then this next thing is for you to format your change the time. Let's use 12, and you bold. So you can type as many, just create as many as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to make it a little bit neat. So I'm just repeating this so you can also familiar yourself with it. Actually, I'll give you assignment on this
Okay.
particular document. So you share it with me later on. So, and you need to also give your table title or subheading. Let's assume the heading is sales for the month of July. So let's assume this is the sales for the month of July. So, and this is just it. So, but the main purpose of your work is for you to make sure that all your documents are well arranged. And we have your bullets. Since you are familiar with this, please, I will send an assignment to you on your mail. Please help me attend to it and send it back.
Okay.
So send it back. Um, Possibly on Wednesday. So we go mainly to the data entering fully, which is on our Excel.
Okay.
Yeah. So we go mainly to our data entering fully. And on Thursday, we go into our Notions. So let me give you a brief introduction on Notions. Notions serve the same functions with Excel and Microsoft Word, but the difference is that it has a database. So
Okay.
because of that database, so we are going to talk about database, data entering. So in the database, that is what will be used to manage our customers, to understand our customers. When was the last time they buy from us, and what was their most interested product or different kind of things. So it's mainly used to manage and